Osman Dan Fodio once said, "Conscience is an open wound, only truth will heal it. Palestine, may God rescue thee." During my teenage years in secondary school, I bore witness to and actively participated in a protest opposing the relocation of the then newly created Ife East local government's headquarters from its original location, Enua, to another site within Modekeke's jurisdiction. This event triggered a series of violent protests, escalating into a prolonged conflict resembling civil war. The protest eventually marched to the Uni's palace, where the late Uni of Ife, Okanade Sijuade, pacified the protesters, including a young and innocent me. He vowed to change the changed, and he actually did. I don't aim to resurrect the grim details of that incident, but rather to illustrate the feelings of dispossession one experiences when one is denied of his property. The historical background is that Ife natives, who were the indigenous inhabitants, had generously welcomed the Modekekes, but, after an extended period, began to demand the same rights and privileges as the natives. While this may appear reasonable and logical, it requires wisdom, negotiation and compromise without resorting to violence. This unresolved issue led to a protracted and bitter Cold War. So, if the primary cause of dispute was the attempted move by the Modekekes to lay claims to what belong the Ifes, how can one justify a scenario where the natives are reduced to serfdom on their own lands, while the strangers dispossess them of their lands and even their right to exist? This is the unfortunate situation in Israel-Palestine. You may not be aware, but as you enjoy time with your family and friends, visiting pleasant places with your children, hundreds of Palestinian children are losing their lives daily. The atrocities committed against the Palestinians and humanity are beyond measure, yet the world and its supposed champions of human rights look the other way. To compound the issue, each time such atrocities were committed, the so-called world leaders were quick to condemn the Palestinians by calling them all sorts of bad names. Whereas, the same leaders called for the head of Putin when he invaded Ukraine. When two brothers fight, a sensible peacemaker mediates rather than fanning the flames of war. You might wonder why this is my concern. It's because Palestinians are human beings and deserve the right to live in peace, just like you and me.